Hello. Today we're going to be working with slope with parallel and perpendicular lines. Remember that slope is the movement of a line. So if it is going up, then it is a positive. If it moves across and goes down, it is a negative. And that slope is usually written as a fraction and not so much as a decimal. Okay? All right, so we have a couple of formulas. We could always do rise over run. That's pretty much the standard. And then we also have the formula if we have two ordered pairs that we can use the change in y over the change in x. We have horizontal lines which go straight across, and this is a zero slope. And then we have vertical lines which go straight up and down, and these are undefined slopes. So here it is, some different examples, and they want us to find the slope of the graph. And so this is just a real quick review that when you're given a graph like this, you could pick 2 points, or you could just do ordered pairs and then solve using change in y over change in x. And I prefer to do the rise over run when it's something like this. So I look to see they're going up by ones, they're going across by ones. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1. So it's going to be slope is 1 over 1, which we know is 1. Then we have this one. Oh, and this one we know it's going up. As it's going across, it's going up. It's positive, and I did have a positive answer. This one is sloping down. So it's going to have a negative slope. I'm going to find a point. Here's one right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like that's another point right there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 5 and right 1. So our slope is going to be negative 5 over 1, which is negative 5. And then our third example is a horizontal line. And if you remember, horizontal lines have no rise. They have no rise. So that is a zero slope. All right, now we're going to talk about parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting lines. And intersecting lines we've already talked about. We talked about those with our angles. They have, where a line crosses another line. If I have two lines that are the same distance apart and they never cross, these are called parallel, and they have the same slope. So parallel lines have the same slope. So this one would be up 1 over 2. And this one would be up 1 over 2. See how they have the same slope? So parallel lines have the same slope. Let's take a look at this one. These lines do intersect, and so do these. So I need to determine which one is a perpendicular and which one is an intersecting line. Well, perpendicular comes at a right angle. They cross at using a right angle. So if I were to look at this one, it appears that this is a right angle. This one obviously is not. A real quick way to determine would be to bring over a sheet of paper and line it up. And if the corner of the paper is following those two lines, it's a real quick way to find a 90-degree angle. So these are actually perpendicular. And they have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So if I'm looking at the red one first, I'll go ahead and get rid of that there. If I look at the red line, it goes here and here. So it's going up 1 over 2, and it's positive. So the red, up 1 over 2. The blue one, let's let's see, here's one, and here's one. So down 2 over 1. So down 2 over 1 is negative 2. Now, take a look at these two here. This one and this one. They are reciprocal of each other. This one's positive, this one's negative. So that's that opposite reciprocal slopes. So if one is positive, the other one's going to be negative, and the second one's going to be the reciprocal of the original one. The best way to look at those is when they're in fraction form, but if you just know that there is a 1 underneath a negative 2, and this has 1 over 2, you would have flipped it, and so then those would have worked, okay? But a lot of times it's easier just to put it in a fraction form to take a look at it. So this last one we said was also an intersecting. And this is just two lines that are intersecting. It is not at a right angle, obviously not right angle here. And so therefore these are just intersecting lines. Okay. We can find the slope of each. So let's do the blue one first since I have blue ink. Coming from here to here. So it's 1, 2, 3 over 1. So it's up 3 over 1. That simplifies to 3. And then the red one, if I go from here, looks like here, up 1 over 1, you can see that they don't have the same slope and they do not have opposite reciprocal slopes either. So very different, not coming at a 90-degree angle, and they do cross, so it's just intersecting. All right, so if lines are parallel, then the slopes are the same. It says here, line S passes through the points negative 4, 0 and 5, 2. So at negative 4, 0 and at 5, 2. Construct a line through the point J, which is at negative 2, 4, that is parallel to line S. And remember, same slope. So if I want this one to be parallel to the red line, then I need to figure out what my slope of my red line is. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I am going to go up 1, 2, so up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over 9. So the slope is 2 ninths. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Double checking. So from this point, I can use my rise over my run. I can go up 2 and over 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that works. And that line is a blue line. So I'm going to change it to blue. Make it thinner. Now let's go ahead and put some arrows on it. And remember, the thing about parallel lines is that they're never going to cross. Okay? So my blue line is parallel to my red line now. And it gives you the steps. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. If lines are perpendicular, then the slopes are negative reciprocals to each other. So they cross at a 90-degree angle here. And one is at 7, 6. This one here is at 7, 6. And this one here is at negative 6, 7. You'll notice that one's negative, one's positive. The 6 is on the top on the first one, on the green line, and on the purple line, the 6 is on the bottom. So they are opposite of each other, and they are reciprocal of each other. So let's take a look at this one. It says line T passes through the point negative 3, negative 1, and negative 1, 7. We're going to construct a point through the point 4, 4, which is here at K. And the first thing we need to do is find our slope. So on our red line, looks like this is a good point. And this is a good point right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So the slope is 4 over 1, which is 4. And then my green line is going to go through here, and it is also going to do 4. So I can go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Or I could go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over -1. Either one of those works. Sometimes you don't have a lot of space, and so you kind of have to be a little different about how you create those points. I'll straighten it up a little bit. And those are two, oops, I made two parallel. Was I supposed to make parallel? Nope. So perpendicular means that the green one is going to be the reciprocal of 4. And since 4 was positive, this one's going to be negative. So it's actually going to go down 1 and over 4. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's try this. This works better. As soon as I did it, I figured I did wrong. And I can always test it with a sheet of paper to see if the paper fits in here perfectly. And that tells me it's a 90-degree angle. Sorry about that. All right, so quick review. Parallel lines have same slope. They never intersect. Perpendicular lines, they do intersect. They intersect at a 90-degree angle, and the slopes are negative reciprocals of them. If you have any questions, make sure you talk to your teacher.